What's up, guys? I've hinted a lot in my past videos about things I've been looking at with Flat Earth. As you can see, you're looking at this logo. Today, I was pretty excited, or I guess yesterday at this point, to hear this guy, Rex Bear, at the Leak Project. One of my favorite channels to listen to. He covers all kind of stuff. Appreciate everything, Rex. You do some good stuff. But you've always kind of had a hate for Flat Earth and never really looked into it. Which, I can't blame you. It sounds freaking nuts. It was probably about 2 years that I kept hearing Flat Earth, Flat Earth, Flat Earth. And I felt like just about every other conspiracy person felt. This has to be some kind of psyop to discredit the conspiracy or the truther movement. No way something that crazy could be true, but believe it or not, looked into it, gave it an open-minded approach, and listened to people like ODD TV, Mark Sargent, Jeranism, Globebusters. Guys put out some facts that I don't have answers for, and to me, there's far more proof for a flat earth than a round one. Anyway, I was excited to hear that Mark Sargent was going to be on the Leak Project. And then kept checking my YouTube channel, waiting for notification, never got it. Apparently he couldn't make it. Well, Rex posted this video asking some questions of flat earthers, so I'm going to just go ahead and play a little bit of it, and I'm going to respond to it as it comes.
Today with somebody in discussion on the flat earth theory, and our schedules didn't work out, so hopefully it'll work out here in the future. I do have several questions that I'm going to ask anybody out there to
I hope the audio is okay.
Either debunk or verify. So essentially these questions are questions that I was going to ask this person in regards to the flat earth theory. And the first one is, maybe you guys know this, help me out here. Who else besides NASA has pictures of the Earth as a globe? What other agencies? Maybe there's some other countries like...
Alright, the answer to that is nobody has pictures of the Earth as a globe. All of NASA's pictures, their videos, all CGI. You can look up any picture, like the moonrise from the Earth. Anybody can go download that picture from NASA's website, stick it in Photoshop or any other little photo software, bring the levels up, and you can see that picture was pasted in there. All of the flyover pictures, all garbage. You can see either clouds never move, or there's clouds where there weren't any. Clouds were copy and pasted. There are not one authentic picture of the round Earth from space. Sounds nuts, I know. I've looked. Believe me, when I first started listening to this, I was absolutely thinking, bullshit. No way. But you can check it out. They don't exist.
Russia, China, India. How high up do you have to be to see the curvature of the Earth?
As far as the height, you can't see the curvature, so it doesn't matter.
How high do you have to be to see it as a globe? How do you explain the math behind it?
Now, there are people that have figured if the size of the Earth is what they tell us it is, how high you'd have to be. I've heard that on Jeranism. I've heard it on some Globebusters episode. You can check those guys out if you want to see some more about it. Let's keep going.
People that work on roads and measure dividers for the highways that say there's curvature there.
Alright. Talking about engineers that work on roads saying that there's curvature. I have not heard one say that. I have, however, heard interviews with engineers who do large projects like that, who say that they do not figure curvature in their calculations, and it never has given them problems. There are two types of surveyors. There's ones who who figure their plans on a flat model, and there are ones who figured on a round model. Over 99% of the surveyors or engineers are the flat Earth model type. The other less than 1%, I mean, those projects are so huge. If you figure, I mean, I don't understand how you can say that you have to use it on 99%, not 1. Not sure. Now, the other thing you can think about with this is, well, a couple other things. The military has a railgun, which they can scope out targets that are over 60 miles away using, directed energy laser beams. That is a straight line. Now, if you figure, using basic, trigonometry, the curvature of the Earth, to figure the drop, where you should drop over the horizon, you take 8 inches times the number of miles squared, and that should give you the drop of the Earth. So if it was 2 miles, it would be 8 inches times 2 miles squared, which would be 8 times 4, would be 32 inches. So in 2 miles there should be 32 inches. Now you figure that up to 60. Let's do it on the calculator. Eight inches times 60 miles times 60 miles. Sorry for that screen swap. 22,800 inches. You divide that by 12. There should be a 2,400 foot drop in those 60 miles. There's no way that ray gun should be working. There's no way they should be able to eyeball a target out there. There's been military officers who Mark Sargent has interviewed that say that they use infrared binoculars and sighting equipment out that far, and they can pick up a heat signature. I know people say that you can see things over the curve because of mirages or images reflecting off the atmosphere or whatever they want to say, but you cannot say that about an infrared image. Now, let's see if we can get back to where we were. So I haven't heard any of the engineers say that there's curvature. I have heard plenty say that there is not, that they do not use it. They are taught in school about it, but have never used it in practice. Back to you, Rex.
Now, this is just a strange question that I've wondered. If you jump straight up and pause in the air, let's say 10 feet, 100 feet, 1,000 feet,
and I've thought this question too before.
Feet.
Same thing with airplanes. Why can,
and you hover there,
if the Earth's spinning 1,000 miles an hour,
and then you go straight down,
why does it take the same time to fly east as it does west? If the Earth's spinning that fast, it should take way longer to fly with the spin than against it.
Shouldn't you be somewhere else on the planet if it's constantly moving? Or is it moving?
Also, there's been experiments done where cannonballs were fired directly up into the air. And I mean, this was a precise experiment, and they land just about exactly where they came from. A lot of them have landed in the barrel of the cannon, which, if it was spinning 1,000 miles an hour, there's no way that should happen.
Moving in a sense to where, if you're within the atmosphere, you move with the current. You move.
But you're opening up a little bit, Rex. I like it.
The physics or physicist expert. Isn't the Earth supposed to be moving at approximately 1,000?
Now, the other thing people say is that it's like traveling in a car, because the wind in a car is moving fast as the car is.
Why is it dark in San Antonio?
The thing with that is, the car is an enclosed system. They say our atmosphere is open, yet somehow the perfect vacuum of space doesn't suck the air out. Can't compare the two, not the same thing.
Midnight in July. Yet it's bright as day in Alaska, 4,000 miles away. What about the
Now the sun picture, you're just going to have to look at the flat Earth model. I mean, we can take something simple like this. Basic flat earth picture of, you know, the map that most people use. Not necessarily true. But this is it. The sun and moon follow each other in the same route pretty much. So you can see here easily how that could be answered. Oh yeah, just for a quick look too. Everybody knows this image, UN map. What is it? Oh, it's the flat earth. That's right. There we go.
Testimonies of hundreds of captains and pilots that have circumnavigated the globe. Are they all liars? If satellites aren't real,
Alright, captains and pilots who circumnavigate the Earth. It's very simple. And the model I showed you just a minute ago, let's look at that again. Of the flat Earth. The sun and the moon are circumnavigating the Earth. On the flat Earth, for people that are new, the center of the map there is the North Pole. That's the magnetic North Pole. The outer edge is the South Pole. So you can imagine that the longitude lines run from outer to inner. Excuse me, I almost tripped and fell. The latitude runs around in the same direction that's showing the sun and the moon. So circumnavigation is just traveling in a circle around the flat map. It's not, I mean, they're following compass reading directly, either east or west, because that's what it would give you on this flat model. So no, they're not lying. They truly believe they've circumnavigated a ball, when really they've just driven in a circle. I know. Sounds crazy, but give it some time. Let's see. Those glasses keep tripping me out, Rex.
like the globe model, how the cell phones work, satellite TV, global GPS. Someone I know personally that's 93 now, very kind soul, dear friend.
Alright, let's talk about that one. That's a misconception people have too. Satellite, cell phones, GPS. They tell us work off of satellite technology. Well, that's total horseshit. I always believed it too. If that is the case, let's say DirecTV, Dish Network even. You have to align. Wait, let's start with to get on the flat earth model, you have to give all that up. You have to give satellites up. Not saying there aren't some high altitude balloons that do some things, because that is possible. But GPS, cell phones, those things are all ground-based technologies. Why do you think they're throwing all these towers up everywhere to boost signal? Why do they have these towers? Because it's ground-based. You can't get cell service. You can't get GPS once you get a certain number of miles off the coast. Why do you not get cell service in remote locations? It's because there aren't any freaking towers. You can't connect to a tower. If it was a satellite-based, system, those towers, the distance from the shore or to the town should not affect your cell phone service like it does. The satellite should be able to be picked up anywhere. Why are there, I don't know. I don't know how to even point that out anymore. Just think about it. You get great service in cities, not out of cities, on your cell phone. It's because that's where the towers are, because cell phones are a ground-based thing. I mean, GPS was used during, I think, either World War I or II, a ground-based technology. Satellites are a scam. Now, is everybody involved? No. Are there people that truly believe they are making satellite parts or satellites themselves? Yes. But they never see them go into space. They just design some things. They're sold to the government. To NASA, who, by the way, takes $50 million a day from us for this bullshit. But what if we got some little fake CGI pictures? Just look up some of their spacewalk shit. It's garbage. this guy Rex is about to talk about. We'll let it play, but he said he knows a guy that made some parts for the ISS and CERN and all this stuff, some vacuum chambers, vacuum tubes, something like that. And he's acting like the flat earth is calling him a liar. No, we're not. I don't think he's a liar at all. I truly believe he's got patents on these things, and he believes that they've been up in space. Well, they haven't. He made them and sold the patents, but they ain't been in space. I mean, you can look up NASA and the Van Allen radiation belts in a video they just did talking about how they have to solve that problem before they can get out there. But apparently, astronauts in the 60s, 70s, whatever the last mission was, went through that 5 times and had no effects. With zero shielding on the shuttle, by the way, which you can look up in the specs.
So this person, he holds several patents. One of those is to vacuum tubes that are put in Generation 3 night vision. And he also built tubes that have gone into CERN.
Get off this beat, see if we can get a little better.
Vacuum tubes that have gone into the NASA satellites, and as well as the John Glenn flight where he circumnavigated the Earth in orbit. He built tubes that went into that, I don't know, satellite ship, essentially, whatever you want to call it. So, is he a liar?
He's not a liar, Rex. He just doesn't know.
He showed me, is that a lie as well? Or does that not mean anything? Is none of that
doesn't
valid?
mean anything.
Does none of that
it's not valid.
prove or disprove anything that we're
I'm not going to get frustrated because I've been where you're at.
Someone sent me
completely
an
fooled
email
too.
named David, very intelligent person. He says, "Hey Rex, I just got back from a walk. I ended up contemplating the stupidity of flat Earth theory. This is his words, not mine. And I came up with a few questions you could use for one of your bits if you want. This should be easy for any flat earther to explain.
It should be.
If all of the tens of thousands of photos of the Earth being round or CGI or faked, why hasn't a single flat Earth image been produced?
Every real picture is a flat Earth picture. You look up from the Go Fast rocket, you know, the private rocket, or the Red Bull space jump is actually what I'm meaning to say here. When he's about to dive off the platform and you look from his camera, it looks like a curved Earth. But the problem with that is it's a fisheye lens. It's a GoPro. And that's what they use. Now, you can also look at the shot before that, before they take off. And from the inside of the balloon he's going to jump from, there is a camera that's not fisheye, and the Earth is flat from that picture. Check it out for yourself.
Showing the edge of the Earth that could convince millions, hundreds of millions of people.
That's the other misconception. Why aren't there pictures of the edge? Who says there has to be an edge? Most, people who haven't looked at this are like in total denial, thinking that flat earthers believe that there's an edge, which I believe there is a barrier, absolutely. The Antarctic wall, which goes around the perimeter, per the map I showed earlier, is the barrier. But it doesn't mean that there's an edge where you could fall off of. This is more possible to me, an infinite plane. We're just one little puddle on this infinite plane. There could be endless other suns and moons orbiting these other puddles, warming them and cooling them at night. Which is another thing, people who try to discredit this thing say, well, what about aliens? Maybe aliens are just from the puddle next door. Think about that.
If the Earth is flat, explain the need for tectonic plates. If the Earth is flat, why and what and why is there magma? Why would we have it? What force pushes it to the surface? Why do volcanoes explode? Are we sitting on top of a lake of magma?
All this stuff he's talking about, I don't have an answer, but I don't pretend to.
And at the same time keeps the ice walls
Scientists
frozen.
don't know that either.
Wouldn't the magma melt the ice walls?
Does anybody know how deep the deepest hole they've drilled is?
Why is the
deepest they've
circumference
went?
of the Earth encoded in the Great Pyramid?
8 miles, that's it.
What are stars?
8 miles.
Let's
talk about stars.
Building megalithic structures that actually track the stars recorded in history, like the Great Pyramids. What about astrology?
We'll let this all play.
Astrology says the planets are round, they're globes, just not Earth.
Alright, the stars. What are the stars? I'll tell you what they're not. They're not giant balls of gas giving off thermonuclear radiations millions of light years away. You look in any decent telescope or a really good zoom camera, you can see that. Now, how are they used for navigation? That's easy. They move in the same pattern all the time. They are put there for us as guides. And they've been that way the whole time forever. And they stay in that same pattern. I mean, if the Earth is a ball, spinning 1,000 miles an hour, rotating the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, while the whole solar system is supposedly traveling through this endless space at 600,000 miles an hour, and the Milky Way galaxy is moving over 1 million miles an hour. How do we see this every night? The stars, as long as time has been, they rotate perfectly right around the North Star. With all that different movement, that seems impossible. Anyway, let's keep going. Maybe.
The first people that talk about flat Earth were mainly religious establishments.
Not true.
Why then would they persecute and kill people that believed a globe, only to reverse their opinion later?
Pretty much all ancient societies believed the Earth was flat. Is there a dome? Is there not a dome? I don't know that. Haven't seen it. But it's not a ball.
So, and why would the flat Earth wobble? How does that work?
I don't know that the flat Earth would wobble. I don't know that
the dimensions of the flat Earth. How far does it go?
Round Earth does.
What's the edge like? Is there anything on the other side of the flat Earth?
We just covered that.
The hundreds of people that have circumnavigated the globe.
We've already covered circumnavigation too. You just drive in a circle. But if you follow the compass, yeah, I know you're trying to kind of make fun of it. Hold yourself back, Rex. It's okay.
Like steps?
I ain't mad at you. I've been there.
There's so many people, so many different industries
west
that run
on
off
the compass
of the
would make a perfect circle on the flat Earth model.
That function properly, that aren't running into dead walls.
And I don't know what industries he's talking about that run on a globe Earth model, but we'll just have to skip that because I don't know of any. He'd have to give me some examples, but I don't know that any have to have the globe to exist, other than NASA stealing $50 million a day again, by the way.
And brick walls. That wouldn't it make more sense that the flat Earth theory, if you look at it from some of these ancient texts as well, is more of a kind of like the internal planes, the ethereal planes, essentially. You know, think about the everything being connected at the quantum level, quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement, the double slit experiment.
All can exist on the flat Earth.
Equals matter. Those theories would basically say, yeah, you could get into the flat Earth theory.
Universe /
in that regard, being it's a universal plane that's really flat in perpetuity, whereas everything's connected at some level. I could see that. Yet physically, that we are perceiving this physical realm, I still 100% think it's a globe. So hopefully I'll have an opportunity to speak to this person again soon. We can get our schedules straightened out. And also there was somebody else that's supposed to be really good with the flat earth model that maybe you can...
Anyway, that's pretty much it. I see people getting frustrated at the flat earth. I can't be mad. Like I said, I was there. I thought it was a complete nonsense, bullshit conspiracy. Look at the information with an open mind, people. Think for yourself. And no, it doesn't have to be thousands or hundreds of thousands of people in on it. Only the people at the very top pulling the levers have the control. I still like Leak Project. Cool to watch. Cool information. But Rex, you gotta open up a little bit, buddy. You gotta let your indoctrination go. It's mind-blowing, I know. Am I 100% flat earther? No, but I'm about 95%. Just today at the beach here, I watched a boat sail over the horizon, and I took my camera and zoomed right back in. Pulled it right back, all the way to water level. So, anyway guys, hope you like this video. Notice a little change from the sky pictures, the strange stuff I was showing before, which I don't believe either that the flat earth discredits this. So it could, there could still be something out beyond our plane, up in the sky, some sort of electric presence that comes by, on a cycle. No reason that couldn't be true either. Anyway, guys, hope you like this. Let me know what you think. Everybody, have a good night. Talk to you soon.